A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant development on June 12, 2025, U.S. President Donald Trump's administration made a concerted effort to distance the United States from Israel's recent military strikes on Iranian nuclear sites. This move comes at a critical time as the Trump administration prepares for a sixth round of negotiations aimed at addressing Tehran's escalating uranium enrichment program. The Israeli government has asserted that these strikes were necessary to prevent Iran from developing atomic weapons. However, Trump's administration has emphasized that the U.S. was not directly involved in these actions. Secretary of State Marco Rubio stated that while the U.S. was aware of the strikes, they were unilateral actions taken by Israel. "We are not involved in strikes against Iran, and our top priority is protecting American forces in the region," Rubio declared. The secretary's remarks underscore the complex dynamics of U.S.-Israeli relations, especially given Trump's recent calls for a diplomatic resolution to the tensions surrounding Iran's nuclear ambitions. Just hours before the strikes, Trump had expressed a desire for a peaceful solution, indicating that a military strike on Iran could be a possibility. Iran, for its part, insists that its nuclear energy program is solely for peaceful purposes. Nonetheless, the International Atomic Energy Agency has recently reported that Iran is in breach of its non-proliferation obligations for the first time in nearly 2 decades, raising alarms in Washington and beyond. In light of the rising tensions, Rubio issued a stern warning to Iran, emphasizing that targeting U.S. interests or personnel would not be tolerated. The statement, however, notably refrained from mentioning whether the U.S. would support Israel in the event of retaliatory strikes, a departure from previous positions. The relationship between Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has become increasingly strained, particularly regarding Iran and the ongoing conflict in Gaza. Trump has been advocating for a nuclear deal with Tehran while also pushing for increased food aid to Gaza, leading to a divergence in priorities between the two leaders. Following a conversation between Trump and Netanyahu earlier in the week, it was clear that Iran was a focal point of their discussion. Trump hinted at the possibility of an imminent Israeli attack on Iranian targets, stating, "I'd love to avoid conflict. Iran's going to have to negotiate a little tougher." The potential for retaliation from Iran poses a significant risk to U.S. troops and diplomats stationed in the region, particularly given America's long-standing support for Israel. Security concerns have escalated since Trump announced the relocation of some U.S. personnel from the Middle East, citing the increased danger. As tensions mount, Washington and Tehran have confirmed plans for another round of discussions scheduled for Sunday in Oman, involving U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araqi. A U.S. official has reiterated that these talks will proceed as planned, despite the surrounding turmoil. Trump, however, remains cautious about the outcome, stating, "Iran cannot have a nuclear bomb, and we are hoping to get back to the negotiating table. We will see." As the situation develops, the international community watches closely, aware that the stakes are high not only for the U.S. and Israel but also for regional stability and global security. The interplay of military actions, diplomatic efforts, and the looming threat of nuclear proliferation creates a complex web of challenges that will require careful navigation in the weeks and months ahead. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.